Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Wargame Red Dragon replay cast, and today it is a very special cast indeed, for a couple of reasons. The first reason, it is my first 10 vs 10 replay cast, and this should be thoroughly impossible to cast as there's so much going on at once, but that's okay. The second reason, the bigger reason, is that this is the 2015 Reddit vs 4chan game. This happened last year in 2014, and so they are doing it again. And we'll get this started off. On the right side, we have our Red 4 team, the 4chan team, which consists of Frosty, Zyper, Vaun, Kung Fu Treachery, Futhark, Nandamoni, if I mess up your name, I'm really sorry, Rarushu, Sizable, I'm assuming Supervisor, who knows, Master Moose, and Biroshima. And over on the left side, our Blue 4 team, the Reddit team, we have Zach, Sandwich Boy, Kamash, Hurricane, Legatus, Bill, Blow My Sacks, Clinton, which is pretty humorous, Dr. J, Mirage 2000, don't know the rest of the name, should be around here somewhere, and we will probably see that Mirage in 2000C, RDI or ROI? RDI, I'm sorry. And we have Ricochet and Macalac 101. So this is going to be a pretty insane game with all of these players on it. 20 total players. A battle royale between the two rival websites, if you will. And it is on its way now. The game is about 49 minutes long. I'm assuming there isn't going to be too many lulls in the game, periods of inactivity or anything like that for me to go ahead and put it on 2 or 3x or anything like that. But if I do, there'll probably be some unforeseeable events if I do that. And so, again, I will speed it up if it gets a little bit too slow. But we have the right side of the map here, Kamash and Nandamoni. Moving over to the right side here, Alpha and Victor over here. Pretty easy to take those. There'll be definitely some warring going on there. Charlie and Delta also very easy. Echo here is pretty well defended as it has 2 bridges over here and over here. So very hard to get into Echo. So I'm not thinking that that Echo is going to be taken too much in this game. For the most part, Golf too, but it is a little bit easier for the Blue 4 team to get into Golf than the Red 4 team to get into Echo. Lima here will be a constant brawl, more than likely. November is pretty far back, so I'm not thinking there's going to be too much going on there. Perhaps some troops could go over the wood line here and get in there, but we will see about that. Again, Mike will probably be a good brawl here, as well as here. Sierra is pretty well defended. You can get into the town here with Red 4, but that's going to be a little bit difficult. And Tango and Alpha Lima will be a wide open brawl here. As you can see, there's pretty wide open territory with lots of tree lines that you could hide some tanks in all along through here. So we'll see how that goes as well. And it looks like one of the first fights here is going to be these Fallschirmjägers and the FJB should they find each other in that wood line. And I will just be searching for all of the action throughout the game. And if I miss some of the action in the game, well, I am sorry, but there's so much going on to actually catch it all. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but you can download these replays if you would like. There will be a link in the description of this video where you can see that link and go to the website and find these replays. There's actually 2 games, so we'll be casting the next game as well, so stay tuned for that. If it's not uploaded right away on my channel, you'll see it eventually. And our first major battle here going on, some Stormers moving up, and lots of armored carriers here moving off to the left. Nothing inside of them, all dropped off. The S-drop here backing off a little bit from all of those troops. Nothing really for them to take any air down just yet. And Lima is going on as well. Leopard's firing at some troops trying to move across the line there, but it's certainly not going to happen. Those bots shooting going to take a lot of damage, but that T-72 there should be able to handle the Leopard. But we will see on that as well. The town in Gulf has been overwhelmed by the Red 4 team so far. Not too much Blue 4. Red 4 still piling in. No CV has been brought in there yet. And And on the right side here, the battle in the woods going on. Looks like Red 4 has taken over Alpha for the most part, and Blue 4 now trying to push the Red 4 out of Alpha. And we will check on that in a little bit. Over on the left side, not too much going on here. Alpha Lima and Tango just setting up their units just right now, and not too much battling going on. Perhaps we'll see these recon troops sooner or later here. Spetsnaz moving up to the top of the mountain there. We should be able to spot these troops, but the recon should be able to spot them. Who knows? They are on the mountain, though. A little bit hard to see up there. And K1s have been spotted here. The Red 4 team has been set an attack on here, perhaps to have some jets come along. Go ahead and cluster bomb that area there. Get rid of those. And let's see, uniform here under attack for some Fallschirmjägers, but I doubt they will last all that long here. We have a couple troop carriers firing 7.62s inside, and the VDV on the other side have just been taken out, but a few Motorstrelke left here that could be moved up as well. So those Fallschirmjägers probably will hold out for a little while, but I'm thinking that not too long here. Lots of troops moving in as well towards uniform here. So that probably won't be held by Blue 4 for too long unless there's a big pile of troops moving in, which I do not see. And the mountainside here has been thoroughly taken over by Blue 4. And is now pushing forward just a little bit here. Lima has been captured by Blue 4. So far, a +3 advantage for our Blue 4 team. And again, just in case you had forgotten, the Red 4 team is the 4chan team, and the Blue 4 team is the Reddit team. I will probably remind you guys once or twice of that throughout the game here, just to keep everybody on the same level. M1 Abrams holding out pretty well here. 3 M1 Abrams, but the T-80s are moving in. Takes out one of them. T-80, definitely a very good tank. Only 13 armor, but pretty cheap for the cost, 65, so it doesn't take really too much to invest in it. And the T-72 over here also firing at the M1 Abrams. And the HC is out and about, firing back at each other here. HC didn't take as much damage as the T-72 there, as they have slightly less armor than that HC there, about 5. Just fairly significant in terms of the tanks. And the battle for Gulf here continues. The town under a siege by the Red 4 team. Pretty even so far. I'd say a little bit more troops here for the Blue 4, as we have some Motorstrelke here that are very low, and the Hyundai could be moving forward as well. And back at Lima, still going on here, trying to push up the mountain. We have some Sturm Pioneers holding out, but Jagars and Stormers trying to hold out here, and should be able to take those out and move forward. But meanwhile, Lima still remains in Blue 4 hands. You have these CV troops standing all the way in the back here. And we'll see if Red 4 decides to bring up a CV or not. Looks like 2 CVs are on the way for the Red 4 team here. So they're probably going to drop one off here in Alpha Delta and then take one and bring it to Lima to perhaps capture or at least neutralize Lima. But that's going to be kind of hard to do for the Red 4 team, as there really isn't any good places to put a CV for the Red 4. You could put it in this tree line here, but that is very easy to spot something in that tree line should you get close enough. And there is indeed some recon there that will see that moving forward. Can't really put it in this tree line either, because currently the commandos are moving through there as well. So gonna have to work out something in there. Could perhaps take our Alpha Charlie as well, rather than neutralize Lima. Mike pushing forward here. Blue 4 all the way at the top of Mike, and holding out fairly well here. A couple automatics here in case any jets or anything move along. Looks like a MiG-29 moving through there as right now. And should it fly over these 2 automatics, probably going to get taken down, as automatics are pretty good. And here we go. The battle should begin here. 2 automatics firing, but evac's really early there, so should be able to save that. But no, loses that jet there, that MiG. And now the battle for Alpha Lima here. Tango captured by the Blue 4, and Blue 4 unable to push into Alpha Lima. Very, very heavily defended by the Red 4, just peppered up all the way around in sort of a horseshoe manner there. Anything that moves through there gonna get hit by something or another, so that will have to be worked out sooner or later. A couple of Vickers Mark II, one has been destroyed there trying to push forward, and the wood line here on the mountain thoroughly infested by both Blue 4 and Red 4. And we'll see who decides to push, who can actually push forward here. The Red 4 will have quite a bit of ways to go should they push forward, but if the Blue 4 pushes forward, they'll have access to Alpha Hotel and the side of Alpha Lima pretty easily there. Alpha Lima has just been captured by the Red 4 as well, leaving the Blue 4 with just a +1 advantage. And down here we have snuck some troops, the Red Ford, some VDVs, but they are all out of RPG 29s, so they can no longer attack any sort of vehicles that move through. Of course, they can always pepper them up with bullets, but sooner or later that will not be enough. VABs not going to take too much damage there either. And up at Alpha here, neutralized. Neither side really has taken Alpha, and both sides pushing in. A CV is being brought in just now by the Red 4, and now taken by the Red 4, just as I said that. Panzer Grenadier trying to hold out 20 of them, and VDV on both sides here in the BTRD also firing at them as well. And Bill Blow My Sacks Clinton has left the game. Perhaps he disconnected or something like that, but he has certainly bailed on the game in one way or another. A couple Vickers Mark IIs still trying to hold out here. Only 2 armor on these Mark IIs. But they have a pretty decent gun on them. 17 AP power there, so able to take out just about anything with that gun. But unfortunately, the armor leaves them very, very weak. And T90 now moving across and into the center here. We'll spot this Vickers Mark II at some point. Perhaps it's too far in the woods for this T90 at the moment, but as soon as that T90 sees that Mark II, it's pretty much over. B5 now moving across, and we'll see where it decides to drop in the town line here, and it may land very, very well. Looks like these Jagers are pretty screwed there. B5 absolutely decimates the whole area there. And on the right side here, all the center here belonging to the Blue 4. Blue 4 doing pretty good so far, but a 0-0 right now. Neither side really having an advantage. On the right side, 72B holding in the wood line. HC moving up now, but has to watch out. There's plenty of stuff that could be attacking it, but the T-72 all the way back here. T-72 now fires, and HC decides to back off just a little bit. Very low on ammunition, only 420mm rounds left in that Abrams, so really not too useful at the moment. Can take out maybe one more tank or a couple more things, period, and just leaving a small chance to miss there with those last 4 120s. And Alpha Lima here still holding strong from the Red 4 and pushed out the Blue 4 for the most part. There was some more Blue 4 over here earlier, but has been thoroughly pushed out. The U shape has turned into more of a slight line, and soon will be aggressive towards Tango, and now bringing in some CV troops here to quickly neutralize Alpha Lima, which gives a +2 advantage to the Blue 4 team, along with capturing other said things. And now Alpha still holding out here by both players. Red 4 looks like he's been pushing pretty far here. And now pushing towards these Assault Engineers. Assault Engineers are pretty good against troops, though. Although they take pretty heavy casualties. They're pretty weak, if you will. But they typically, if you have a lot of them, they will eat up a big ball of troops like these VDV here. As you can see, they're going down pretty quickly to those napalm strikes, as well as those A3s there, also firing that 50 cal. Gulf is still neutralized. Some troops remain here from the Blue 4, but not too much. So 39 Motostrelke here should be able to take on 20 Legions and possibly 10 Commandos as well, but just a little bit more reinforcements could easily take this town back. Super Edentard tries to take out some the Tunguska by the looks of it, but it looks like he didn't actually take anything out and loses that in the process. A couple MiGs came out there to, looks like to handle that Edentard, but a little bit too late, as it was already taken down by the Tunguska by the looks of it. And Panzerbill there has finished off some troops there in Mike, and an attack has been called there on those MH. As there's 4 of them there, would be a pretty juicy target to destroy all of those. Still +1 advantage for our Blue 4 team. And Alpha Lima still going strong here, but with the Red 4 teams, the Pioneers trying to push forward. And they do have those napalm, but unable to really do too much. These BTRs, T90 also there as well. That's going to be peppering them up. Not going to be able to do too much there. Some Gurkhas here trying to push forward. And we have the Geogokde with just 5 men. Some Sapperies here just pour and fire all over these Gurkhas. Still trying to hold out, but unable to really push too far forward here. Gurkha's pretty good, but Saparis are eating them up currently, and the Geogokde is taking some damage for those Saparis for the meantime. And over here on the right side, Alpha is still going strong between both of these players. The CV has been brought forward for the Blue 4 to neutralize this. The Red 4 CV all the way in the back there. And Kamash sporting a lot of assault engineers, but only 2 squads left here, and only 1 and 2 in the other squad. So they're really not going to be able to do too much there with just a few assault engineers. Not going to be very effective. Some Pumas now moving up towards the line here of Charlie, and Fuchs CV needs to just move back a little bit and going to try and recapture Charlie, and there it goes, giving that +1 advantage back to the Blue 4. MiG-25 moving overhead, and we'll see what its target is. Looks like it fired on that Ettentard there and almost took it out. Only 2 bars of health left over, but it will evac in time. We'll be able to repair back up, no problem there. F-8 Hornet evacing before it was taken down. Not too much anti-air in the area there. That Tunguska, it's just about it. B5 moving overhead with a MiG-25 looking for radar, and there it goes. It drops, and doesn't look like there's too much in the area that this is actually going to take out. The Fuchs there has been destroyed, but not too big of a loss. Starfighter moving out, but takes out a couple things there, but not the most effective. Tried to take out the CV by the looks of it, or just some troops there, but didn't do too much damage. Su-24 being fired at there, and Rafael coming, and did it take it out or not? I actually didn't see it. It looks like it evac'd in time there. Alpha still neutralized here by the both of the CVs. Neither player can really push forward too well. I'd say the if the Red 4 really wanted to, could push forward and take out the CV, but by doing so would make himself very vulnerable to some cluster bombs, napalm, etc. on all of these troops there. And I see some things all the way over here. We have a K-52 recon helicopter just chilling out there, and it looks like it actually finished off. Both of the helicopters finished each other off by the looks of it there. Very strange indeed. Uniform has been totally taken over here by the Blue 4 team. And just the CV in the back left, but cluster bombs there really decimate the Blue 4 push. And now these troops have to come out of the town line to push forward here. Rarushu has left the game. One of the Red 4 players. So 2 players down, 1 on each side. So now an even game once again. So 9-9. And these Panzer Grenadiers trying to push forward into this wood line, but there are some VDV here that will give them a little hard time. And that CV back there is very vulnerable. And we'll see if we can actually do it. However, we have some mortars being lobbed here on those Panther Grenadiers. Going to take some damage, but looks like they just barely missed them. VDV being pushed back into the wood line. And these Grenadiers here just chilling. Should be being pushed into that wood line as well. Alpha Lima has been totally taken over by Red 4 at this point. Only some troops over here on the left side. And now it's pushed forward all the way into the wood line here. And now Tango is threatened by this push. And quite a bit of troops here could probably push through this wood line here. There isn't actually too much defending in this area. Majority of the Blue 4 is all the way over here. Alpha Charlie here has been taken over by Blue 4, all pushed all the way in there. Could bring up a CV there and take that from them. Uniform has been captured for the moment, well, at least neutralized. A CV has been brought up by the looks of it. Indeed, there's a CV now in that wood line there to neutralize this area. Blue 4 with a +2 advantage so far, 331 to 22. So far, dominating the first half of the game. Attack marker has been marked over here, but there really isn't too much there. I'm not sure what that marker was for, as there really isn't. Oh, it looks like the CV that was being pushed through there was spotted for a moment. Now Golf has been taken by the red 4, leaving the blue 4 with just a +1 advantage. Tiger there firing at those Spetsnaz that moved through the wood line and finished them off. VAB trying to move into the wood line as well with some troops. 20 Rangers here. It looks like Carl Gustav took out one of those BTRs, and 13 Rangers over here. And just one lonely assault engineer and an M1A2 is now being pushed into the wood line, and there isn't too much to deal with this M1 at the moment. Would have to bring some air power here to deal with this. So Sappery is now moving in and going to start firing on this M1A2. But unfortunately, Sappery isn't going to be able to do too much to that M1, as they really only have that napalm, which isn't very particularly effective. And BTRs being dropped there. Rangers pushing forward. Both the Rangers have Carl Gustavs and the M1A2 Abrams able to push forward as well. So all of that in quite a bit of trouble. M1 moving back here, pretty wise, as he really doesn't know what's here. And also, if he spends a little bit too much time up there in the fire there, he'll be panicked and would make himself vulnerable to any kind of air power attack on that Abrams. So now he's going to push forward a little bit more here. Try and take out a couple more of these. Rangers in a little bit of trouble. All that napalm on them. Shoka firing at that helicopter there. Did not see what helicopter that was. Perhaps that was that Tiger I saw just a bit ago that took out those Spetsnaz. But I don't know. F-45 Phantom moving in here, dropping some bombs on this area. Going to hit some of these VDV by the looks of it. And napalm all over the place now. And burning up some of these VDV, preventing them from really moving forward. Also making some smoke there to stop any kind of pushes and sight in that area. Charlie is neutralized, could easily be taken by the blue 4 here, put it all the way in the corner or so. Uniform is still neutralized, and CV all the way back here, and those CV troops still up there. Has lost one of those troops in that squad there, but still doing pretty good. And looks like Red 4 has pushed forward a little bit more than the last time I was over here. And now Tango is definitely in trouble. There's really nothing here to defend this. We have a Puma here, but that isn't going to do much of anything. Those Iglas take it out in a hurry. And now as long as they push through there, could easily push down through the side there as well. Stalwart, the CV troop, is inside of it. Not sure what he's going to be doing with this. Maybe trying to get it all the way around and get it into Alpha Lima. But these Spetsnaz may spot it should it start going up through there. And they'll definitely know that that is coming. Some mortars here being lobbed into the town. Some smoke, rather. And it looks like a push is going to be coming into the town now that that smoke is there. Here comes the troops, VDV and Spetsnaz moving in. And some additional VDV here. Some 9 in the wood line could push forward as well. Or perhaps just keep those in there just to keep guard on that CV troop. Panzer Grenadiers move over to the right side there, away from that smoke. And can now spot these Spetsnaz trying to move in. And we have a BTR there launching some 30mm frags and peppering up that town line. And a couple helicopters, Bell helicopters here with just the 7.62s firing at some of these troops. Not too much firepower there, mostly just transport, but might as well. And there they go, peppering up some of the VDV. That push has been stalled. There really wasn't enough smoke. A little bit more smoke probably would have been helpful, as those Panzer Grenadiers were able to just see right around that. And Fallschirmjäger's town is on fire there, and looks like it's traveling a little bit towards them. Let's probably push those out of the town shortly here. And now we have Jakwide moving on in to the wood line here, and Chinook's going to spot them and start peppering them up with that minigun, but there's 53 of them. So that's going to take quite a while. Igla is now going to be starting to fire on those Chinooks. And here comes another Igla there. Takes out one of them. And now those troops down to 47. And we have the Gazelle in the back here. Now it is all out of cluster rockets. Only has 12 of them to begin with. And now the CV here in a little bit of trouble. Brought up some Seklos RBS anti-air, but not really anything to really worry about. MI2 is moving forward, but still way out of range. And now they are moving forward here, moving directly at that CV. And looks like they stopped for now. Nope, they are moving, but just taking their good old time doing it. And Alpha Hotel here has been pushed into by the blue fort, but I don't think it's going to last too long. We have some SAS here, though. And that CV is right over here. And perhaps he just can't see it through that wood line. And 2 VDV, however, are pushing into the wood line and should be able to take care of these Fusiliers and the SAS Panzer Grenadiers. Only have 4 of them. So we'll see how that works as well. Should actually put the CV here in a better spot. It doesn't seem like the greatest spot in the world to hold that. And now back on the right side, Alpha has been fully taken by the Red 4 team. The CV has been pushed out at some point there, or destroyed. And we have some M60A1 Pattons moving forward. And good old cheap tanks just to push forward here against all this basically junk in the wood line. And looks like there's 2 CVs in this line. One over here and one over here. And those rises taking some big damage, but unfortunately for the Pattons there, they only cost 40 to call in, so very, very cheap, and they get the job done indeed. They have 13 AP power, which pretty much takes out just about any of this randoms in here. Not so much the T80UM there, a big, big challenge for these Pattons, but with these Urals and these CVs and random BTRs here, very easy to take out with those rises. Now that TD80 going to be backing off a little bit here. 20 armor on that T80. Doesn't have too much of a chance with those Pattons there. M182 backing off now and trying to get back into the range of these Hemmets. And going to have to repair that back up. And we have assault engineers here trying to hold out, and it looks like all kinds of napalm here landed all over these troops here, directly on those assault engineers. I doubt they will even make it out of there. Already dying and suffocating. Can't even see them through that smoke, and they are pretty much screwed there. That is like the most central napalming I've ever seen there on those assault engineers. They were screwed before it even landed. Fallschirmjägers pushing forward. VDV going the other way. They must have not spotted each other there in the woods. So Alpha belonging to the Red 4. +1 advantage still for the Blue 4 team, 443 to only 35. And it looks like that Seiklos there took out something. I did not see what that was. Perhaps it was one of those recon helicopters from earlier. Geogokte inside the wood line now. And dealing with an STRV, and that Lynx is just constantly firing on them. So having trouble there. Additional troops trying to move in here on those false guns. But they should be able to hold out no problem. They are in the wood line. These are not. So they have the slight advantage there. And Spetsnaz moving in as well. That HQ CV troops there, just one man. And the Spetsnaz can easily push in on that. The RBS now in trouble here. Napalm launcher. Hit a couple of them there. You can see a couple of bodies there laying. Got peppered up. And now those Spetsnaz just need to be moving through that line and could get right to that CV, no problem. And attack has been called here by the Blue 4 on this line. This dense group of tanks here and troops. Some Sapperies, BTR with looks like some napalm troops, some Sapperies, and T-72 here as well. And Leclerc here going to be fired on that T-72. T-72 is hurting pretty bad here. And just 1 or 2 more shots. Leclerc takes a big hit there. And still firing on that T-72. Leclerc lost to that T-72 as that T-72 was stationary, so it had better stability, better accuracy. And now that Stalwart here just holding out and repairing up and reinforcing that CV there, but if those Spetsnaz decide to move towards it, it's pretty much screwed. And BTR 60P is moving in to the line as well. Looks like Tango may be lost here very shortly. Those Spetsnaz are dangerously close to this CV here. And just a couple guys just chilling in there. Oh, bombs go off all over the place in that wood line there. And the napalms take out everything, the Spetsnaz and the CV. So now that has been neutralized, leaving the Red 4 team with a +2 advantage. And now Alpha still going strong here with the Red 4 T80s moving forward. T80UM also moving forward, and the Rise Patents have to back up. That T80 is dangerously close to being able to fire on those Patents. Those Patents have no chance against the T80UM, even both of them at once. T80 now moving forward here and moving right at these Rangers here. So these Rangers should be able to hit those T80s there with the Carl Gustav. Carl Gustav does 18 AP power. Takes him out pretty easily there. As you can see, one shot took it down pretty far. And there goes a couple more shots, or rather a double volley there from those two Rangers. So it wasn't necessarily one shot, but, you know, and T80 moving forward here, trying to get around that smoke line there, and Rangers on the other side. So if he moves forward, Frosty has left the game, and that is one of the Red 4 players. So that will leave 8 players to 9 players. So no longer an even game. However, the Red 4 team does get additional troops because of that, can build additional vital tanks and things like that. So not too bad. But a little bit less micro going on for the Red 4 team now. And VDV over here trying to hold out, but Commandos and the Fuchs, Fallschirmjägers also here as well. Could easily take out these VDV and push forward again. Rangers in a little bit of trouble. These Sapperies just peppering this whole area here with napalm. Also 27 VDVs pushing forward. Just 4 Rangers left in this squad here trying to Gustav that T80 there. A little bit too late, unable to fire again. T80 fires and takes them all out. And T80UM has backed off a little bit. These riflemen are pushing forward. And unfortunately, riflemen, very, very weak troops. But they do have that AT4, which will damage that T80 a little bit. But with the high armor of the T80UM, they will take a good number of shots to actually take it out. The A3s here trying to hold out as well, just peppering up some troops best they can. And just 3 men left there. Alpha has been neutralized. Looks like a CV has been brought up here, with that CV already took big damage. And now the T80 trying to move in, but there are riflemen here. Riflemen here are stunned. Riflemen here are dealing with the VDV. And as soon as these riflemen are unstunned, they should be able to fire that AT4 at the T80. But they're in trouble here. They're all panicked and stunned, so having a hard time firing that AT4. And now desperately trying to hold this back. If they do not hold this back, this CV is screwed here, and it will fall back into Red 4 hands. So that T80 VDV pushing forward, Sappery's pushing forward, just 14 riflemen and a couple of Patents here to hold back this section. And the CV there has to move a little bit because of that fire. It leaves that for Red 4 just for a moment there, and then neutralizes it. Seems to can't talk too well here. Tango still neutralized. Looks like a T80 UK CV vehicle is being brought in, and good luck getting rid of that CV, as it has 20 frontal armor. So that will be a fun challenge to get rid of that. Tango now in Red 4 hands, but it is still 0-0, as it looks like Charlie is being pushed forward here by Blue 4. Could easily take that and slap a CV in that, but there is a CV here, and is now back into Blue 4 hands. For the moment, Alpha has been captured back into Red 4 hands, but it looks like falling back and forth here as if this M577 CV vehicle, as that fire goes too close to it, it moves it, and then falls back into Red 4 hands momentarily. Blue 4 back at a +1 advantage. 521 to 750. Victory is very close for the Blue 4 team, the Reddit team, and the Red 4 team is the 4chan team. I said I would say that again earlier, and so I will. Bring in another CV here, and we'll see where he decides to bring this, if he's going to bring this in Alpha or not. And Lima here is neutralized, neither side owning this. A CV all the way back here, and a CV troop all the way up front. An attack has been called there by Dr. J to move forward and try and get rid of this area here, but there's really nothing too particularly important here. There's some AA vehicles, but the CV is really all the way over here. A1's pushing forward here, takes out some troops, or actually didn't see what that was for a moment there. The A1 tried to push forward here, and Grenzer's gonna take it out, no problem. They actually missed with that RPG too. And FLAs take it on out. And the right side here, Alpha neutralized still. And now Red 4 CV in a little bit of trouble. Artillery blasting down on the T-70BU, but T-70 moving out of the way very easily. T-80 also pushing forward. And we do have a Bradley here that could be launching say-close missiles on these tanks as they are pushing forward. And we have a ton of Rise Pattons now pushing forward and going to go after these Red 4 tanks, but it's not going to happen as the T-80 can pretty much one-shot these Pattons here. It just takes about 2 shots to kill each Patton. And now he realizes that backing these Pattons off, Pattons are better for a closer engagement. Perhaps even going through the woods would be a better bet there with those Pattons. And just surprising those T-80s in a long-range battle like that, not going to happen. So Alpha still neutralized. The Red 4 team has the +1 advantage at the moment. The recon troops all the way up here managed to get all the way up there, but just now lost them. And some troops have pushed forward through the wood line here, but not going to do too much good. AMX-40 and RBS anti-air, but out of anti-air missiles, so not too good. Bushrangers pushing up there, but those so-calls, the 23mm is pushing them back. Almost lost both of them. And Alpha Hotel here neutralized and up for the taking. And easily could bring up a CV vehicle and just slam it in the woods, take that for a little while, as they don't need too many more points to win the game. Lima still neutralized. CVs at both ends there. Golf and Delta in Red 4 hands. Echo still going strong there. Not really ever has been ever really taken. Just some jet bombardments there of napalm and etc. These 2 bridges here prevent anything from really going across them, as anything that really does try that is pretty much scorched immediately. And the Battle of Alpha here has been going strong the entire game. Looks like the CV here is in trouble. All these bombs going to go off. Napalm going off all over it. But it should be able to get away just fine here. That's going to turn it into blue for a moment. Until it stops moving again, it's going to neutralize shortly. And there it goes back to neutralization. And if those were cluster bombs instead of napalm, it would have definitely taken that out as pretty much a direct hit. And those Rise Pattons here have moved up into the woodline. A better place for them as he's losing them in here in the woodline, but certainly better than just going right after T-80 and T-72. Troops trying to push into the woodline here, but there's Afghanskis and looks like T-72 OBR also pushing forward. And neutralized this zone as there's a CV here, and looks like a CV has been brought in the back. That T-80 UK actually in the back, so good luck taking that out as well. Always hard to take out the CV T-80, or there was also a CV M1, etc. like that. There's quite a bit of those, and so definitely always a good choice. Very, very hard to remove those, although they cost 200, so it's very expensive indeed. Rifleman trying to hold out against quite a bit of Motorstrelke here. Could push these A3s up a little bit more and do some damage to them. Hammett's all out of juice and needs to send that one back on home. Huge Red 4 push is pushing forward here. And Napalm goes down in the line here to stop this push of troops. Stops both sides there from going in. A3's firing at this MI8, and it's getting all kinds of peppered up, and it will go down there, and kasploosh. on the ground. VDV and MrSotko pushing forward here, but the Rise patent going forward, and not a good idea as the T80 finishes it off, but if he didn't finish it off, the MrSotko and the VDV certainly would have. And looks like an S-Merch piling down some pepper here all over the place, and coming down. And where is that CV? I do not see it. Actually, both CVs look like they have been destroyed in the sector. We have a CV incoming for Blue 4, but is neutralized on both sides. And a new CV is coming here for the Red 4. He will get there sooner, more than likely, as he has the Air CV. And the Blue 4 is just bringing in a ground-based CV. Will take a little bit longer. Indeed, it's all the way back here. We'll have to travel all the way through the road there and up. And the Red 4 CV should get there first, but it won't matter all that much. We'll just hold it for Red 4 for a little bit. A +3 advantage now for the Red 4 team, so they have taken quite a bit of territory over and thus neutralized quite a bit of territory as well. Tango now is pretty well held. T80 UK here under bombardment there from some... we'll see what actually is firing on it. And we have a M270 MLRS and a Mars firing there by the looks of it. So it's taking some pepper there. It's going to back off just for a moment to get away from that area. But only missing 3 bars of health. Has some pretty decent top armor. Only 3, but a lot better than some things indeed. As a lot of things only have 1, the most armor. So it can withstand just a little bit there. Milan's moving forward here. And some supply to supply up this area here. Going to slap those in the woods for his troops there. Lima has been officially taken over by the Red 4 finally. Their CV remains all the way back here. The CV for the Blue 4 has been pushed out entirely. Lip Gardens here trying to hold out. And firing that Gustav there at those T-72. And one more shot there from that Gustav would take out probably either one of these, but there was a miss. And now has to back up. Only had 6 rounds for that Gustav. And they are all out now. Red 4 has officially taken over Alpha. And here comes that CV for the Blue 4 now. But it is a completely and utterly unarmored Jeep. So anything that really comes down in this area will finish that off no problem. M1A2 here battling it out. But we have the BMP3 here firing Arcans on it. And it looks like it ate 2 of them. And T80 trying to push forward here on the Rangers. And if those Ranger just really clicked on that T80 there and fired that Gustav, they could actually take that T80 out, no problem there. And Fuke's now going to be firing on that VDV. Also a couple of Chinooks in the air here, just seeking them out and firing on them as well. And we'll end that shortly. Shilka's now firing on these Chinooks by the looks of it, and lots of jets, all kinds of chaos that's going on over there. Missed a lot of that over on the left side here. Trying to push forward into Tango and Alpha Lima, Alpha Hotel-ish area, but just way too defended here. This huge line of just absolute raw defense here from the Red 4. Very, very hard to take that out. However, this line of forestry here is quite skinny and is very susceptible to artillery attacks and bombings, anything like that, as it's pretty easy to tell where he is. Just pick a line, a spot in the woods and bomb it, and you'll pretty much hit something. There is a little bit of anti-air. We have 1 infrared rocket left, a tornado moving in here to try and take out some of that radar, but turned his radar off for the moment. And I'm going to be making another round. And there he goes, takes out that Tor. And MLU here firing away and almost hit that SU-27. And MiG-27 also trying to get on out of there. Automatic, 2 automatics they're firing. Takes out that SU in a quick hurry. Automatics just so good. Such a good anti-air. Especially if you have 2 of them there. just firing away. Raphael takes out the SU. I believe that was the SU or the MiG. Either way, takes out a jet from the Red 4 team. +4 advantage for the Red 4 still. And now Alpha still neutralized here. That unbelievably unarmored Humvee still chilling, no problem. Guy's just sitting in there. He's just like, yeah, I just been ordered to sit here in this war zone. Man, Chinook holding out and just using these Chinooks really as it's not destruction, so you might as well just use your transport helicopters to just pepper something up and just scout out at the same time. So it just sort of acts as a scout, probably mainly acts as a scout, and secondarily, you know, takes out a few troops here and there, so why not? But if it is destruction, typically it's pretty much just gonna go to waste there and feed your opponent. And VAB's moving forward here. A couple comvats in behind here with the 45mm. Should be able to eat up these Motorstrucky, no problem. Legions popped out of the VABs there. And are now all stunned here. And Spetsnaz moving forward as well. And taking the wrath of the combats there. Motorstrucky hit one of them, takes it out. And takes out the other one there. Only one of those left. And those are getting destroyed very quickly. They only have two frontal armor. Which is easily destroyed there by the RPG-7s of the Motorstrucky there. 24 AP power on Motorstrucky. So yeah, they pretty much take out just about anything in one shot. Even the M1 Abrams takes just probably 2 or 3 shots to take it out. So that is pretty good indeed. And we have some anti-air jets here just looming around, loitering around the area, if you will. F-16s moving out as well. And there are some MiGs flying about, but unfortunately this is a... oh, no, and they fire, and it looks like it was already evac, so not going to be able to get anything with those F-16s. I thought they were actually going to go all the way through there, and that would have been a very good idea. There's the Tor Tunguskas in the back there. Lots of random Iglas as well, peppered up throughout the region. Actually, I don't see any in the region right there, but there was another Tunguska all the way in the left. Starfighter here going to try and evac, but it's getting a little bit too close to all that anti-air there because it leaves just fine. Big battle here. Canadian Airborne trying to hold out here. And meanwhile, we have some T-72As, and we have some Iglas moving up as well. But got to move those Iglas back. Those are not going to be too effective against the Canadian Airborne. Geogokte trying to hold out. Just 8 of them left. MX-32s moving up and should be able to make short work of these Geogoktes, but they should be able to fire at least once or twice on these AMXs and do some damage. Canadian Airborne absolutely wiped out there. By a bombing run. Looks like the Su-24 bombed that whole area there. We have a MiG-25 also moving across and going right after those automatics there and takes both of those out. There's a Stormer here going to launch on that MiG and most likely not take it out, though. Looks like he's actually going to make another round, and that may not be good here. We have the Rover. It's going to fly right over that Rover, and there goes fires. And this MiG looks like he's... yep, and should have evac'd that a long time ago. But he did take out the automatics at the very least, I suppose, but I don't think that's a very good trade-off. Now that Humvee is pretty much screwed. These Motorstrucky are going to spot it any second now if they already don't. And the T-80 is going to back up, but if it would have moved just a few feet more, it should have spotted this Humvee here. +4 advantage still remains for the Red 4 team. They have certainly turned this game around in a quick hurry here. 525 to 659. And T-80 going to be moving forward here, going to be firing at these riflemen. And now he's going to back this Humvee CV back now. And that gave it to the Red 4 momentarily. And now that he's moving it, it's just giving it to the Red 4. It's giving them a +5 advantage momentarily. And that T-80 has been taken out because the T-72 now firing. And VDV hit it. Oh, actually, they're trying to hit. I can't believe how long this Humvee has lasted. And there it finally goes there, giving the Red 4 a +5 advantage. And now Rifleman trying to hold out, desperately trying to push back into Alpha here, but a little bit too late. M1A2 is back here as well, but it is heavily, heavily damaged. And only 1 bar of health left on that M1A2. And meanwhile, on the left side here, still well guarded. Just so much here. So many troops just in this area. And could easily be taken out by a lot of artillery, but it just doesn't look like they have that. They did have those M270s. They have a couple Mars as well that really should be firing on that line, but just not really using it effectively. It is fully, it does have full ammunition there, as well as the 270. But the blue 4 team loses. The red 4 team wins. So 4chan takes game 1 of the Reddit versus 4chan Super Tournament action. Although I don't suppose it's a tournament because that would involve brackets and whatnot. But I like to say that. It makes it sound cooler, right? So red 4 wins. 4chan wins the first game. There is another game that I will be casting, so I hope you guys stick around and watch that. I don't know if I'm going to be putting that up exactly with this game. I might wait probably till tomorrow to cast that. As I have some other casting to do, I do Company Heroes 2 on Warcraft 3 as well, and other stuff once in a while. So I will get on the second game in a little bit, and I will also put that up on Reddit. So if you're seeing this on Reddit, just stick around and wait a day or two, and you will see the next game. But again, if you really want to see it now and check it out, I'm sure there's some information on Reddit about it already. But you can go to, I will put the link in the description of my video down below, where you can find these 2 replays. I think they're like the top 2 replays on the site at the moment. They're the most recently uploaded. But that could be subject to change, of course, by the time you see this. But again, if you want a video casted of your own, a replay of your own, if you have a nice high-level replay, I prefer high-level replays. If you're a high-level kind of cat and you're awesome and you want the world to see how awesome you are, go ahead and put your replay on that site, again, in the link below. And put my name in the replay, so just be like, oh, MrSotko, cast me, or whatever. Be creative, and I will see that replay, and then that will make me check it out. Because if you don't put my name in it, I do check out the other replays, but if you don't put my name in it, sometimes I won't check it out. Sometimes it'll just sort of pass me by. But if I see my name on there, that definitely sort of catches my eye. So I hope you guys enjoyed this replay. Stay tuned for the next game, and I will see you guys next time.